Hello, hello, hello. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me? What's going on, y'all? Man. I feel like I ain't seen y'all in forever, but I just saw you guys yesterday. Had a whole live with Quan. How's everybody feeling, man? How's everybody feeling? Welcome to another Friday night encounter. Tonight, what are we doing tonight? Let's give it a little bit. I see people still coming in. What's going on? What's going on? Welcome, 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 welcome. I see a few of y'all coming in. Shout out to the homie Bell. Bell said he can't stay today. That's all good, bro. I'll see you on the VOD. Big shout out to Curly. You feel me? I just finished catching up on the Last of Us. I meant to catch up yesterday for yesterday's episode with Quan, but I wasn't able to do it. And then right after we finished filming, I went out, I watched Final Destination Bloodlines, which is weird because I had no idea that movie was coming out. And on my way into the movie, I saw this really cool looking poster for a movie called Hurry Up Tomorrow. I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is. Turns out I'm glad that I didn't watch it or give it a chance. Turns out that's a movie with The Weeknd in it. So we're definitely going to be talking about that. The Knicks pooped on the Celtics. There's people outside right now. The Knicks pooped on the Celtics, and there's people outside right now going crazy. You might be able to hear it on stream. Like every once in a while, somebody will drive by just yelling some wild stuff. And they're just celebrating the win of the Knicks. I think that's a crazy poop fest. That was insane. Thought I heard something outside again. So yeah, tonight, it's going to be a quick stream because we already did a lot of the stuff yesterday, but we're definitely talking about The Last of Us. We're going to be talking about Hurry Up Tomorrow. I don't even know if any of you guys know what movie I'm talking about, but we're going to get into it. Bro, people are outside wilding right now, bro. Like, it's almost a little bit distracting. And then lastly, we're going to talk about Final Destination Bloodline. I'm actually very excited about it. Shout out X. Shout out to my boy X. X is here too. Shout out to my boy X. You feel me? So this is going to be fun. Yeah, man. I'm a little mad right now, bro, because I was at the grocery store before coming here. And I bought some food that I was going to make and all of that stuff. I didn't end up making the food. I just warmed up some like Jamaican patties or whatever. And the reason why I'm upset is because I bought a whole case of sparkling water. And it wasn't until I arrived here that I'm like, where's my sparkling water at? And I'm looking all around the car, like I'm looking everywhere. I can't find this sparkling water. And when I think about it, I don't think I walked out with it. So right now I'm a little bit frustrated, I'm not gonna lie, because there's like nothing to drink in here. So I might have to go out, find like a corner store or something that's still open, get something to drink, but that's a little bit unfortunate. Big Knicks fan, so happy right now. Bro, y'all pooped on the Celtics. Like, that wasn't even fair. One of my boys, he's a huge Knicks fan. I'm just happy for y'all, to be honest with you. Like I said, I just started watching basketball again just before the playoffs. So I've been keeping up with the season and all of that. And I didn't think the Knicks was going to make it this far. I got a homie, he was getting kind of frustrated with the Knicks because he's like, bro, every time we beat a team, it's always by like 5 points. And he was getting even more frustrated by the fact that he felt like every time y'all won against the Celtics, it was only by a little bit. And so I feel like he's celebrating right now. Like, he's hype right now. Because y'all absolutely demolished them, bro. Like, that was not fair. What was the score? Let me Google the score. Bro, what type of score is this, bro? Why did y'all do that to these people, bro? Why did you... Yo, look at that score. Bro, that's not even fair. Y'all know that's not fair, right? I mean, the game is the game, but like, y'all know that's not fair, right? And I know partially a lot of people gonna say the reason why it's like that is because bro's injured. Y'all got, or not y'all, but the Celtics got a dude that's injured. Now that I think about it, oh no, yeah, the Celtics got a dude that's injured. So they absolutely pooped on the Celtics, bro. Yeah, they tweaking outside right now, bro. They tweaking outside. I feel like if the Knicks end up winning the finals, I kind of want to go into the city to see what's happening. Like, I feel like it's going to be so dangerous, but at the same time, like, you know, I just want to see what's going on. I feel like it's a big thing for the Knicks, man. But anywho, man, I don't know if y'all got the chance to watch the movie Hurry Up Tomorrow. So I was just saying just before the stream, like, you know, whatever, like as soon as I got on here, I was saying that when I got to the theaters, I saw a really cool poster for a movie called Hurry Up Tomorrow. Turns out Hurry Up Tomorrow is a movie that The Weeknd is also in. And bro, let me just show y'all something. This is absolutely insane. This is probably the worst movie news that I think I've seen in a very long time. Like a release for a movie. Let me just show y'all this nonsense. Look at this. Hurry Up Tomorrow debuts with a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. How do you debut with a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes? Now, to be fair, oh, Curly, you saw it already? To be fair, and I'm going to be 100% fair here, I did not watch Hurry Up Tomorrow. I opted instead to watch Final Destination, which we're going to talk about last. I thought the poster looked good enough where I was actually intrigued. I had no idea The Weeknd was in it. But I will say this. I am about to say a lot of negativity. A lot of it is stuff that I'm reading, that I'm presenting to you guys. But I'm also going to do something that's pretty shocking, which is I have something that I want to say that I think is a silver lining that I think everybody should remember about this movie. But overall, I do want to show you guys a clip that I saw. But before we do that, it turns out that this movie is about a musician, and I'm assuming that musician is The Weeknd. So I guess The Weeknd is playing himself, and he kind of, it seems like he's trying to dip his toes into the acting realm, right? And there's nothing new here because he also tried that a few years ago with The Idol. And that was actually something that we experimented with on the channel. It might not be available on this channel, but I know I re-uploaded it on our reaction channel, Kalex Reacts, and we reacted to The Idol. Let me tell you something, bro. That show was actually trash. Quan and I tried to watch it, and I just couldn't do it personally. And The Weeknd's acting was atrocious. I will be honest, The Weeknd's acting was atrocious in that show. But it turns out he's not quitting. Curly says The Weeknd can't act. Look. Okay, we're going to get into it. So it says, the description says, a musician plagued by insomnia is pulled into an odyssey with a stranger who begins to unravel the very core of his existence. I just pulled up the live Rotten Tomatoes page here, and instead of 0%, it's currently at a 14%. And instead of a 77%, it's at a 73%. So safe to say there's a huge divide there. And what I could only assume is that these are the Weeknd fans that are going in and watching this movie, and it's clouding their judgment a little bit. The Weeknd has been in a few stuff before. We are going to read some of this, but I kind of want to see some of the stuff he's been acting in. So his highest rated movie is at 92%, and that looks like Michael Jackson's Journey from Motown to Off the Wall. But he was also in Uncut Gems, which I remember, but he wasn't really like acting. He was mainly just singing. He was playing himself. So like, I would be pretty shocked to see if he did a bad job playing himself. Curly said the movie was confusing too. That's something that I kind of been seeing from people. So I'm gonna play a clip for y'all that I found on the internet that made me go, okay, we kind of need to talk about this movie. I'm telling you, this is the worst movie news I've seen in a very long time. Please, y'all, take a look at this clip, bro. I don't know if y'all can hear my screen, but oh my goodness.
Are you able to shut the fuck up? Shut the fuck up. Shut up. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?
People are laughing.
I have to go right now. I'm getting calls. I have to catch a flight. I'm on a tour. I'm trying to be fucking nice. You see I'm trying to be nice right now, right? You're forcing me to be bad, but I'm actually doing a good thing. All right?
This is so hard to watch.
Just chill the fuck out, and I gotta go.
Are you able to
This is so hard to watch. I was dying laughing in the theater. Damn, Curly, it was like that? Did you see anybody else? Like, did you hear anyone else laughing and all that? I can't do it, bro. So somebody quoted it and said, I always wonder what goes through real actors' heads when they have scene partners like this. I don't know why I couldn't read that. Yo, and I was wondering the same exact thing when I first saw this clip. This is not the first time that I saw that clip. Like, honestly, sometimes what I like to do is I like to just go to the theaters and I like to watch random movies. Yo, when I tell you that poster looked cool, I'm not even gonna try to look for it right now, but it was like a red poster and the way it was positioned, it like the text, it looked really cool. So I was gonna do it. I was gonna go watch it. Man, let me tell you something. People are pooping on this film. I found a review on Rotten Tomatoes and it says, a feature-length ego stroke of monumental hubris that instantly assumes pole position in the race of this year's worst movie. Why is he talking like that? Because I think he's a bad actor. He did the same thing in The Idol, the TV show The Idol. I don't know if you've seen that. You don't have to watch it. I don't know what that was about. Someone else said, it's dragged down by a lack of emotional connection and the high wire act of bridging reality and fiction in a way that feels truthful, as it's the filmmaker's best intentions were blinding by the lights. Oh, brother, isn't that a Weeknd song? Someone else says, it's not a perfect film, but it's one that questions, probes, and challenges. I don't think that's a valid review because it's like, what are you talking about? Someone says, this incoherent vanity cesspool about egos, fame, and trauma proves that the movie's production money would have been better spent on more therapy for Abel, also known as The Weeknd. Ripping off ideas from the Oscar-winning Misery doesn't help. Oh, so is that what's going on? I mean, then there's fan reviews. Got an hour into the film and felt like it could have just started there. Absolutely one of the worst movies ever made. Like, people are pooping on this. Wasn't too much of a fan of the acting, and the narrative wasn't made pretty clear. Movie didn't get kind of good until almost halfway through the film, but by then the whole story, I mean, look. Do we want to see this full review? Damn, they gave that a 1.5. Oh my goodness. But by then the whole story didn't make much sense, and neither did the ending. Jenna Ortega was great in it, though. She carried hard. That's another thing I was suspecting. Because sometimes when you're doing marketing for a movie, you know, you start seeing people on things like Hot Ones and all of these other YouTube shows, right? And I saw an interview pop up, like a thumbnail, I didn't watch it, with Jenna Ortega on The Weeknd, and I was like, what's this about? Because usually you only see a matchup like that if it's for a movie. Turns out this was the movie. So I actually have something that I want to say about this. Give me 2 seconds. I want to see if... All right. If the stream starts glitching out, y'all let me know. But I'm about to click a button. And y'all let me know if it starts glitching out. All right? Hopefully the stream don't start glitching out. I just clicked the button. So, here's the thing. I found one review. Just one good, decent review on this film. And I don't know, I kind of wanted to discuss it with you guys because it kind of got me thinking about something and also feeling a little bit bad. Curly said I would save money and wait for it to come to streaming. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to watch it at all. And I'll tell you why a little bit after, like once I'm done talking about this movie in particular. But here's what I found on a Google review for the movie. Someone says, this movie is too good. It doesn't deserve the hate, but the love. Remember, it's a psychological film, so not everyone will use their whole brain to understand it. And those saying Abel's acting is terrible are just not real fans or don't even follow his storyline. It's the first time in years we hear him speak more, so it's gonna be confusing with everyone. This film is touching and horrific, but can be relatable, I think they're trying to say. It deserves an Oscar. Those whose okay. You guys know, once I'm starting to see crazy grammar, it starts to get a little bit difficult for me. So bear with me, okay? Those who say it's bad are not his fans. This movie is made for the people who actually love him, for who he is not what people think he is. But I promise I'm reading exactly how it's going. However they typed it. The reason he is no longer The Weeknd, he tried to leave the darkness of the persona. The ending kills me because it was a loop that he thinks he will always be Weeknd and not Abel. The theme matches well. The plot doesn't go off topic. Jenna's acting is more and more entertaining than before, and she was perfect for the role as Anima. Trey was a great choice for the director. Barry played Lee so well. The scenes, his good. Yo, y'all see this, right? It's not just me. Curly said glaze. Curly said glaze. Barry Lee, yo, this grammar is killing me, bro. My brain is like malfunctioning. Barry played Lee so well. The scenes, his Ina, good and overwhelming. I just love it. The Idol wasn't as terrible because it wasn't Abel's to touch. It was Sam's fault the show got ruined when it was still 80% complete. Now we're blaming Sam complete, and now it's canceled because of the backlash he caused. But people blamed it on Abel, saying he wrote it, which isn't fair. He didn't write the whole script because Sam Levinson took over, but gave Abel the credit because, yo, this is a rant, to be honest with you, because he knew if the show failed, he will point fingers at Abel. Whoa. The movie is 10,000 out of 10. It's amazing. I hope people will realize it soon. Was this review helpful to you? What did I just read? In all honesty, what did I just read? Maybe English is not his first language. And I'm being honest, I'm not even trying to be funny. So maybe that's why I had a hard time reading it. I'm not even joking. But I didn't really see anything there. This just came off to me as someone that's a Weeknd fan. And that's what I noticed. And that's kind of what I wanted to speak to, right? I'll tell you this. I personally am not a big fan of The Weeknd. I'll be honest with you. Never cared for him. In fact, if I tell y'all why I never cared for The Weeknd, y'all gonna think it's a little bit childish. This is the most parasocial thing you guys are ever about to hear me say on this channel. X said, are we sure that's not him? Look, man, the fact that he tried to cover for The Idol, and he's saying that it's the director's fault, which, you know, arguably, yeah, it is, right? But also saying that he just did that so that people could point fingers at The Weeknd. Like, I saw some of The Idol. The Weeknd didn't do a good job in that either. Look. This is the most parasocial thing you guys are ever about to hear me say. Actually, no, it's not, because I talk about shorties on here a lot. I did see that. I did see someone say Jenna got to get a new agent. Apparently, Jenna's been in flop after flop after flop. I don't even know how she blew up like the way she did. I'm not saying she's a bad actor, but like I genuinely remember seeing her from Scream, and then after that, it just seemed like she was in everything. But let me get to my point. I'm not a Weeknd fan, and I could tell you why I'm not a Weeknd fan. First, I always found his music cringy, personally. When The Weeknd was really blowing up, I was in high school. And I remember having a friend, and he was very big on The Weeknd, and I always found it a bit cringe because he was always walking around singing lyrics to The Weeknd. And when I'm listening to artists, I think it's very cringe when they're being like overly explicit in their lyrics. I don't know how else to say it without YouTube trying to flag me or whatever, but I just always felt like his lyrics were on the nose. I never really liked his voice. I sound like a Weeknd hater, but I'm telling y'all right now, I've never been a big fan of The Weeknd. I think the most that I've liked The Weeknd was he did something with Daft Punk. Now, I really like Daft Punk. What was it? Tell me what you done, done, dun, 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 dun. I feel it coming. I feel it coming, baby. That one, like, I really like that. Ironically, I know a lot of Weeknd fans don't like that song. Let me get to the point, right? The real reason why I never liked The Weeknd is the same reason why I don't like Benny Blanco and the same reason why I don't like Justin Bieber. And if any of you guys already see where I'm going with this is the most parasocial y'all are ever gonna hear me. When I was younger, I've probably said this so many times already, I used to have a massive crush on Selena Gomez. I'm on the internet yapping right now. Massive crush on Selena Gomez. And till this day, while I don't care for Selena Gomez, I feel like there's still a little piece of me, just because of the little kid version of me, that's still there. And so I've never liked any of them dudes, to be honest with you. I say all that to say, I'm about to say some positive stuff about The Weeknd, and this is coming from a Weeknd hater. Are you ready? I'm actually really happy for The Weeknd, and I am proud of him. Even though people are roasting this movie, and this currently has a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes, while the audience score is giving it 73. I'm not a Weeknd glazer. Y'all know just now with all that background, I'm a Weeknd hater. I don't like his music. I don't think his acting is great. But here's what I'll say. What he's doing takes a tremendous amount of balls. And I'm always going to respect The Weeknd for that. I am going to say this right now. I hope The Weeknd does not stop acting. And I hope that The Weeknd takes on more movies. I want The Weeknd to stick with his agent. I want him to continue making connections. And I want him to keep making movies. I don't care for his music, and I don't care if he continues dropping music. But if acting is something that he feels like is something that's an outlet for him and a calling, I want him to continue doing that. Here's the caveat. Curly said, I hope he stops. Here's the caveat, though. I want it to be reminded that the reason why The Weeknd looks cringe right now is because he's not an actor and he's trying something new. And every single time we try something new, we're gonna look crazy. Like right now I'm streaming and there's not thousands of y'all watching, but I appreciate every single one of y'all that are watching. But someone that has never been on a stream of this could think this is cringe. Could think that me talking about my love in the past for Selena Gomez is cringe. I wouldn't consider myself a streamer. When I first started posting to YouTube, I wouldn't consider myself a YouTuber. The videos look crazy. Here goes The Weeknd, who's already mad famous, one of the biggest artists in the world, trying to break into acting. Now, while I'm proud of him, and I guess what I'm trying to say is, no matter what, we should always keep going. The Weeknd is failing in front of us horribly. And this is what I think he should be doing. I think if he really cares for the craft of acting, what I would like to see from him, let me pull up this trailer. What I would like to see from The Weeknd is him do more independent films. I'm not talking about independent films like this, where it at least has like over $2 million of a budget next to Jenna Ortega, right? Because I also feel like this is not fair, if we're being completely honest. From the director of Waves and It Comes at Night, I also don't think this is fair at all. Like, a lot of these actors busted their ass really learning the craft. And for The Weeknd to stand next to them, it emphasizes just how bad he is at his new job. I want The Weeknd to take a break, pause, and go work with an up-and-coming director that's probably graduating from like a USC or UCLA. Just someone that's on the rise that could give him proper coaching and direction. I want him to go to more stage plays and maybe even act on stage. He already knows how to use his physical form, his body for the stage. Why not use that for acting? Get a coach. And then in like 3 to 5 years, get on the big screen and show everybody what you could be. Like, I am rooting for The Weeknd. I never in my life thought I would be saying that. I am rooting for The Weeknd. So that's all I really gotta say about this. I do feel kind of bad for The Weeknd. Like, at first it was funny, right? At first watching The Idol, I was like, all right, this is cringe, like, turn this off. But the fact that he had the balls to come back again and act in a movie next to, what's my boy's name again? From Banshee of the Inertia? Barry Keoghan, who's a great actor, by the way. Jenna Ortega. Hey, man, I got some respect for my boy, bro. I respect it. I can't even be mad at that. I respect it. So yeah, that's where I stand on this, bro. I'm not even mad at the score. Every once in a while, you got to break a few eggs, and I'm rooting for The Weeknd. And this is coming from a Weeknd non-lover. I'm not gonna keep calling myself a Weeknd hater. The Weeknd just gained a fan. Tonight, The Weeknd just gained a fan. Seeing that he's actually actively pursuing this new venture. Curly said, I need The Weeknd in a Christopher Nolan movie. To be honest, going 0-2 is crazy. I mean, to be fair, he was in Uncut Gems, but he wasn't really doing nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't really doing nothing crazy. And I also think he needs to stop using his name to, like, promote a movie. That's another problem we have. Like, bro, work your way up, man. Will Smith had hundreds of thousands of hours of Fresh Prince before he started doing all the dramatic stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like, to the point where now a lot of people forget he's a rapper turned actor. Tupac, he went to an art school. So to my knowledge, he had a background in all of the stage stuff. Tupac, I think, had he been around for a little while, he could have been up there as one of the, I don't want to say greatest actors, but he could have been down as, you know, a legend. You know what I'm saying? Probably next to Will Smith. If we're going to be honest with you, before Tupac died, he had quite the resume when it comes to acting. Bro was almost in a Star Wars movie. So yeah, other than that, man, I think The Weeknd's doing the right thing, man. I hope he doesn't get discouraged. I want to see him keep it going, bro. But you know what else has been on a decline? Y'all knew I was going to bring it up. I caught up on The Last of Us. Y'all knew I was going to bring it up. Any of you guys been watching The Last of Us? Nobody been watching The Last of Us? I've been watching The Last of Us, y'all. And I caught up. We're at episode 5, season 2, episode 5. I got a lot to say. I spoke about The Last of Us a few weeks ago. Man, I need water, bro. I'm starting to feel it now. I'm so mad I don't know where that sparkling water went. I'm going to go back to the whip, and I'm going to look all over the whip for that sparkling water. Because ain't no way. Ain't no way I can't find my sparkling water, bro. I have, but I haven't seen the most recent episode. That's what happened to me. I hadn't caught up. but I just caught up to The Last of Us before the stream. I guess really I'm not going to talk about the episode per se, but I do want to talk about, is The Last of Us on a decline? I've been seeing a lot of people be a little bit outraged about The Last of Us, and to be fair, in episode 4, I don't like Ellie's reaction to the whole like Dina being pregnant situation. And while I was at ShopRite, as you guys know, because I went to ShopRite before the stream, because I keep saying it, on my way in, I was thinking about it. So like when I watch movies, I don't necessarily care for realism. I care that they don't break their own rules to the world. But what I also don't like is when I'm listening to people talk about movies and TV shows and they say, that's not realistic. That wouldn't happen in real life. And in my mind, I'm always thinking, well, yeah, it wouldn't happen in real life. That's why we're watching a movie. But when I was thinking about Ellie's reaction to Dina being pregnant, in my mind, I'm like, that's not realistic. That's not something that I would, that's not a reaction that I think I would have. Y'all, some of y'all saw the other stream. Y'all heard my thoughts on that. But then it really got me thinking about movies as a whole and like kind of refining my thoughts on that, right? I think what I've come across and why I get so frustrated by the that wouldn't happen in real life argument whenever something happens that people don't like is that, is it, how do I say, is it something that the character would do in the scenario that they're currently in? Like realistically. And I think I'm like butchering what I'm trying to say. Like I am not doing a good job explaining what I'm trying to say at all. So walk with me here. Essentially what I'm trying to say is, you could have the most outrageous scenario. For example, the movie Gravity. Sandra Bullock is literally in space trying to make her way back down to Earth, and somehow she ends up in an exploding pod that detaches from the main International Space Station and starts to burn up in the atmosphere to get here, and somehow we're supposed to believe that she survived. Or when we're watching Interstellar, somehow we're supposed to suspend our disbelief and imagine that Cooper entered the fifth dimension, right? While all of that is not realistic and wouldn't happen in real life, I think what we expect is, does that make sense for the character mentally? Like, is that a proper reaction from the character? So if I were in the fifth dimension, how would I react to that? The awe of it, the mind bending of it, right? Or if I was in Gravity and I'm genuinely trying to survive in the harshness of space, what would I do? So I think I've refined my thoughts on that. I think movies and TV shows could do whatever the hell they want, just as long as the characters have a reasonable reaction to what's happening. And I think that was the biggest problem with episode 4 of The Last of Us. And I hope that made sense. Does that make sense? Is anybody following me? Does what I said just make sense? Because this is what I found. Let me show y'all something. Currently, it looks like The Last of Us is on a decline. If you look at season 1 versus season 2, season 2 is averaging a solid 7.5 out of 10. Whereas season 1 was somewhere up there in like 9 out of 10, if you really wanted to do the averages. And while I personally don't think this is the best season of The Last of Us, and I do think season 1 is better, I think I figured out why The Last of Us is moving the way they're moving. I think I figured it out. The answer is greed. I don't think season 2 is bad. I'm going to be honest with you. And if I'm going to be even more honest, I think people are reaching for reasons to really hate The Last of Us. When episode 1 first dropped, I heard that it was currently being review bombed, and I just don't like the concept of review bombing. I think that's childish. Alonzo says basically whatever can happen as long as the actor can make you believe it. I agree. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. In like literally in the simplest terms, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Shout out to Alonzo. So it did make sense what I'm trying to say. But the reason why I preface all of that, or preface with all of that, I'm a completionist, but I can't keep watching this show, bro. In a few, I'm about to ask you why. Because I'm going to tell you why I want to finish the show, but why I'm a little scared. And one of the reasons why I'm a little scared is because we literally only have 2 episodes left. And I don't think that's enough. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't played The Last of Us Part 2, the game. My plan was to play Part 2 after Season 2. Let's get into it. I guess let's just get into it, right? I mean, we're already here. I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to like pace myself. This is the problem with The Last of Us Season 2. They're milking it. We heard news that we're actually going to be getting a Season 3 of The Last of Us. Let me see something, if I could pull it up. The Last of Us Season 3. Where are we? Yep. We got news right here from Variety on April 9th. Check this out. The Last of Us renewed for Season 3 ahead of Season 2 premiere, which means they already knew what they were trying to do. The same thing happened with The Penguin, but that happened a little bit later, where they were like, okay, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and greenlight the next season. Curly is saying they split Part 2 up into 2 and Seasons 2 and 3. That's my problem. That's exactly what I'm trying to get into. That's exactly my problem with this. I haven't played the game, but I could tell my biggest problem with this season and why I currently think The Last of Us is on the decline that it's at is because they're stalling. They're stalling. When you think about Season 1, the episodes that stalled are like right here. I remember episode 7 vaguely, because I think that was like a flashback episode. But it's like, yo, we don't want a flashback episode. We want things to continue kicking up. You guys remember that? Things in Season 1 just kept going bang, 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 bang. Like it was constantly moving. And for what's happening in Season 2, it's a straight up revenge story. And I feel like because they are not just going down the revenge route, it's effing up the quality of the show. And again, I'm not saying the show is bad. I'm just saying I could tell that they're stalling. Like, how did we just get to episode 5? I'm not gonna spoil it, but we get to episode 5. And it's like, we still have not found Abby? Don't we only have 2 more episodes left? What are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, that's my main concern. Like, does anybody else not have that problem with the show? I think that's absolutely insane. So yeah, I think that pacing is dog shit right now, as of right now. That doesn't mean that I don't think the story is good. I'm gonna tell you right now, I still, for the life of me, do not understand the hate that Bella Ramsey has been getting. And I think episode 4 does not help. Episode 4 where she's like, I'm gonna be a dad, where's she at? I don't see the hate for Bella Ramsey, bro. Her saying, I'm gonna be a dad, I get it. You know, it's a corny line. But what I've noticed is that people on the internet are using that to explain why they don't like this season. They're not giving any honest feedback or any real criticism to it. My reasons for why I feel like the show is just right now is exactly that, pacing. But let me tell you something about my girl Ellie. If nobody told you, I will be the one to tell you right now. Let me tell you something about my girl, Ellie. Ellie, walk 'em down Williams. Let me tell you something about her. I love a good revenge story. Love a good revenge story. And I feel like in episode 5, I hadn't grinned that hard watching The Last of Us in a very long time. She's just like, I know. Where's Abby? I'm like, woo! Yo, and the fear that the other character had in the eyes. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. I am so, like, I like Bella Ramsey, bro. I don't think Bella Ramsey's doing a bad job. Again, Isabella Merced with Dina. I love how playful she is, how flirty she is. Like, bro, the acting in this show is A1. I think we gotta get over this shit, bro. Bella Ramsey is Ellie. Leave it alone. I think she's doing a great job. Now, this is still a problem, though. There were certain things that were happening. Now, remember again, earlier I prefaced it with, my problem is not, is it realistic or not? But is it conducive to the world that we're in? So, does the rules of the world work? And second, does the character's response make sense to what's happening in the world? And like, one of the only things I have a problem with in the most recent episode, which is episode 5, and like, I caught myself yelling this out loud, and it's the fact that, isn't Ellie a sharpshooter? Like, the reason why Ellie is who she is because she's really like that when you give her a gun. Like, ain't she up there as one of the best shooters in Jacksonville? So like, when she was walking down her opposition and she was like just letting it bang, like the excuse I want to make for her is that she is like enraged right now, right? And that's why she's acting the way she's acting, but that just doesn't fit the world that we've built for The Last of Us and Ellie. And that's another thing that I have an issue with and why I feel like maybe this season's not that great. In season 1, they did a really good job with establishing where we are. Like, these are not Black Ops zombies. These are not World War Z zombies. These are infected, right? It's a fungus. And now that we kind of know how this world works, season 2 kind of stops holding our hand a little bit. But the problem becomes that they keep sprinkling in these new creatures, these new infected. And I remember when Quan replayed The Last of Us Part 2, he sent pictures of like upgraded infected. It isn't until now we're really starting to see the dangers of the infected, like how they've evolved over time. And I kind of wish we saw more of that. Like, a big part of why season 1 was so dope. Let me see if I can find some photos. Like, look at this design. Like, that's a big part of why this show was so good. Look at that detail of him inside of the wall. That's actually pretty nuts. Like, the makeup. Look up the main actress for the game, I really think, or maybe just me, but they look alike. I'm gonna look into it. But like, just look at this set design. Look at this costume character design, right? And the fact that we don't get as much of that in season 2, I also think is a bad thing. This is disgusting looking at it. Oh my goodness. And I also remember why I ended up playing The Last of Us Part 1. I started playing The Last of Us Part 1 because I kept reading the script to Annihilation. And one thing that I was trying to do was I was trying to figure out how Alex Garland as a director described what he was seeing in The Shimmer. And something that I realized was that he took inspiration from The Last of Us video games. And that's what inspired me back in like 2020, 2019 to play The Last of Us. And then come to find out, it's turned into a show. But not to get lost, yo, we have Smart infected now. We got spores now. And like, we have these roots that have been growing in Jacksonville. And like, none of that has been spoken about. None of that. And so I feel like the directors or the showrunners of The Last of Us have kind of been abandoning those aspects of the show. And for that reason, I think that's why The Last of Us is currently on a decline. And I think people are going for low-hanging fruit just because, like, you know, the idea that they just don't like Bella Ramsey. I also still don't like the idea that she's still so open to the, like Dina's just so quick to just say, I love you. Oh my gosh. Y'all just started figuring out y'all feelings for each other. Relax. So, yeah, bro, is the backlash over episode 4 forced or valid? I'm gonna say it's forced. I think a lot of the hate for this show is very forced, but I'm not going to deny that this right here, I'm not even mad at it. Like, it's warranted. Like, I'm not mad at it, bro. I feel like episode 2 was the strongest. That had my heart racing. That was reminiscent of season 1. But right now, if The Last of Us doesn't pick up the pace, and if it ends on a cliffhanger, this is going to be rated the worst season. But I will still have hope that season 3 is going to be really freaking good. But that means when season 3 comes around, it has to come out like next year. Like, it shouldn't be something that we have to wait a whole 2 years for. Season 3 should come out next year, and it should have a level of violence that's akin to Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. That's what I want for The Last of Us, and season 3 should be the last season. So it should play off as a trilogy. That's how I'm feeling, bro. I'm really liking The Last of Us, though. I think it's a good show. Let me read what some of y'all are saying. So X says, look up the main actress from the game. I really think maybe, or you. So basically, you're saying you think they look alike. The Last of Us Ellie video game actor. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's true. She made a cameo in the first season. I remember this. You think she looks like Bella Ramsey? I mean, I could kind of see it. Yeah. Like, maybe I'm forcing myself to, but I could kind of see Bella Ramsey in this. Like, let's say Bella Ramsey dyed her hair blonde, right? I could kind of see it. I ain't tripping over that. Yeah. I see the resemblance. Bella is an amazing actress, but her expressions don't land for me as Ellie. Really? I think that's a big part of acting, those facial expressions. Every week I feel like I get on these streams and I talk about the type of acting that I like. And the acting that I like is the subtle acting, right? Where, like, it doesn't have to be all the yelling. Like, earlier we spoke about The Weeknd, right? The Weeknd is the type of person that thinks acting is yelling at someone. And that's also part of the reason why, like, I feel bad pulling up that clip because I don't even have context for why The Weeknd was tweaking like that. So you could pull up scenes out of context. I personally don't like doing that because, you know, things should be watched as a whole. But Bella Ramsey, I think, does a good job with communicating emotions without having to say much, which is why I think she was cast as Ellie and why I think we like season 1 so much. You know what I mean? Like, there's a moment in season 2, episode 5, I could have just said the most recent episode. There's a moment when it's probably gonna sound like I'm going more towards your point of her expressions not landing, but there was a moment where it looked like she was trying to portray strength. basically she gets a pivotal character reveal about Joel, and instead of in the person's final moments reacting in a place of shock, like, I don't think she knew what the girl just said. But on her face, she was able to show a little bit of like, oh, but also I'm going to look into your soul while I kill you slowly. Like, that's the kind of vibe that I got. The beginning fight scene made me burst out laughing in season 2. The beginning fight scene, what was the fight scene? When she was training jujitsu? I don't know if y'all have ever trained before, but I've been put to sleep by shorties before. I don't know if y'all familiar with jujitsu. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but I've been put to sleep by some shorties before, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you. I ain't even gonna cap. Yo, you get a purple belt and above? What? Going to sleep, even blue belt, going to sleep. But I don't think that's what you're referring to. But I do like that in this world, they do teach a lot of grappling, a lot of close quarters combat. I think that's very realistic to the world that we're in. If you're not going to be shooting guns, it's like how often are we really going to be fist fighting, right? Her expressions during that scene, I don't think I remember that all too much. I think the worst moment that she had was, I'm going to be a dad. I ain't even gonna hold you. I think that was her worst expression. I'm going to be a dad. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. But yeah, man, I think The Last of Us is still a pretty good show. I hope it picks up for season 3. I don't know why, but I feel like this next episode is gonna be a flashback. And if this next episode is a flashback, bro, I don't care no more, bro. I don't care no more. Like, I'm gonna finish just because, but like, I don't care no more, bro. But I mean, we got to that point in the stream, guys. Final Destination. Who saw it? Who saw Final Destination? I need to kind of take a little break, yo. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, I can't find I don't got no water. I kind of want to run over to the car, but like, that's gonna take a little while. I have to put up the be right back screen, and I ain't really trying to do all that. Y'all gonna let me put up the be right back while I go look for my water? It's gonna be a 50-50 chance that I left it at the grocery store. Requiem on YouTube, she was fantastic, but as Ellie, I don't know, man. Oh yeah. Yo, maybe I'm tripping, bro. Episode 4 was the only time I had a problem with her as Ellie, as a character. And the only reason why I say that is because I saw a clip of one of the directors or showrunners of the show saying that she just kind of said that and they kept it in the show. And I'm like, that's not a reaction, bro. Like, that's not valid at all. You know what I'm saying? That's just not it. What's up? Y'all gonna let me go get this water? It's a 50-50 chance, man. I don't know where it is, bro. I don't know where that joint at. Yo, I low-key want to try something. I low-key randomly feel like booting up Apex and seeing if y'all down. Bloodlines went stupid. Hey, you got to see it, right? You got to see Bloodlines, right? I guess it's about that time. I say let's just get into it, right? I guess let's just get into it. I ain't even gonna hold you. My throat hurts right now, bro. Shit, I don't got no water in here. Hold on, yo. Let me at least look somewhere for some water. Like, maybe I could find some still water somewhere. Give me 2 seconds. And then once I get right back, we're talking about Bloodlines. You know what? Let me run back to the car to see if I can find this water. Y'all, I am like, my throat is busting right now. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. And by 2, that means like a few minutes. I'll be right back. Like, I pinky promise I'm gonna be right back. All right? Pinky promise. I'm gonna go look for this water. And then after that, we're talking about... I should just leave, right? And then after that, we talk about Final Destination Bloodlines. All right, now I'm leaving for good. I'm yapping and y'all wasn't even able to hear me. I'm back. What I was saying was, I looked all over the stew. Can't find any stale water even. Like, I can't even find stale water. And I just don't feel like going outside, going across the street, looking for water and all of that jazz. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Let me tell y'all something about Final Destination Bloodlines. Now, Final Destination Bloodlines reminds me of exactly why, as a kid, I binged every single Final Destination movie. So at the end of this, I am going to present something to you. You guys know that I don't like giving movies ratings. While some of you guys might find that like taking the easy way out, I think I've developed a much better way at rating movies without destroying the love of cinema. And that's going to be using the watch in theater meter. So we're gonna go from wait till it's on streaming, wait till Tuesday, because every Tuesday the tickets are half off, date night, which is like watch this on like a Saturday night, you feel me, but with somebody, and you have to watch this immediately. So that's kind of the scale. Maybe next time, like when Mission Impossible comes out, I'll have refined it a little bit more, but I'm gonna call it my watch in theater meter. And I'm going to give you guys a score based on that. Now, with that being said, I think we gotta go all the way back. We gotta go all the way back. I'm not talking about to the first Final Destination. We are just talking about Bloodlines. I think that Final Destination Bloodlines is the perfect return for Final Destination. Let me explain. Currently, Final Destination Bloodlines is sitting at a 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb. And I'll tell you what my thoughts on that is. But overall, I think that they did a great job with marketing Final Destination Bloodlines. And the reason why I say they did a really good job is because I don't even know how I ended up watching the trailer. First off, I didn't know that the movie was coming out. I kind of just went to the theater and Final Destination was there. I thought it was a movie that was coming out later on this year. But something that I remembered ringing in my head, I don't even listen to the radio, so I really don't know how I heard this, but it was it was something along the lines of death is coming for us because we should have never existed. And that's how I knew what the premise of this movie was. And I actually think the premise for this was actually pretty dope. I'm telling you right now, I have no idea how I knew that specific line. One thing that tripped me up about Final Destination 6, I think we're on right now, is that the main actress looks like Vanessa Hudgens, bro. That shit was throwing me off so much. I'm trying to scroll down here. Is this her right here? Yep, this is her. Okay, obviously here she doesn't look. Yo, doesn't she look like Vanessa Hudgens? Yo, this was bugging me out in the theater. I'm like, what is going on here? Shorty looked just like Vanessa Hudgens. So, anywho, what is Final Destination Bloodlines even about? So, Final Destination Bloodlines is, it basically is, you're not supposed to use the movie in a sentence, right? You guys know how you're not supposed to use the definition in a sentence? So basically, Final Destination is the same as all the other movies, except this time it follows a family. Like, death is running in the family itself. And so while in the other movies, like, I think I remember in the first Final Destination, the premise is that a handful of people avoid a plane crash because of a premonition, and so death goes after them one by one, and we know they're all going to die. By the time we get to this one, it's following a family. It's following a family, and death is coming for them one by one. But the reason why it's coming for them is because of something that happened like 30, 40 years ago. And because that happened, the woman was able to have a family, and some of the other families were able to have families, and so it took longer for death to catch up to them. Now, I think that is such a fire premise and a beautiful way to bring back Final Destination, because I don't remember seeing a Final Destination movie since, like, I feel like the last time Final Destination was around, we got Andrew Garfield was our Spider-Man. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that was the one with, like, the bridge and the LASIK eye surgery, right? Am I tripping? Y'all remember which one I'm talking about, right? So I'll say this. All of this happens because of something that happened years in advance, and that's why death is running in the family. And they did such a genius job with setting that up. And that was in the first sequence of the film. The first sequence of the film starts off with a freaking bang. And at first when I'm watching the movie, I'm like, what is the budget? Why does it look like this? Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was trippy because it was like, it clearly felt like it was taking place in like the 60s, 70s, right? But then it felt like it was super surreal, and like you didn't really know what time period it took place in, because like there's this tower that looks like it should have been like a more modern invention, and I promise all of that is integral to it. But like they use a lot of CGI, bro. Like they don't take the time to create like realistic looking backdrops. The fire looks fake. Like the visual effects, I'm gonna be honest with you, were dog shit in the beginning of the film. I'm like, so did the filmmakers just not give a fuck? Like, in all honesty, I was almost ready to walk out. But it was so freaking genius, and I'm so happy I'm the type of person that at least tries to give movies a chance, because I loved the Final Destination movies growing up. So like when I was watching the first sequence, I'm like, this is not the Final Destination. Like, Final Destination takes their time with the kills. This can't be Final Destination. Come to find out, and it's not a spoiler, but come to find out, it was a vision, but it didn't belong to the main character. Now, if I tell you who the vision belongs to, that's when we start to get into like spoilers territory. But the fact that it was surreal and was a vision and the use of CG, I'm like, oh shit, this is a genius use of CGI for filmmaking. And I know the filmmakers know what they're doing. I trusted them going forward. And like, it was so crazy how they were able to tie what seemed like mistakes into the story. And I think the strongest thing about this movie and why this movie was so dope to me is that, again, it reminds me why Final Destination is so dope. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, Final Destination reminded me that one day we're going to die, and like, I just hope that I don't die in the most horrific way possible. That's the thing that Final Destination did to me as a kid. That and 1,000 Ways to Die. I don't know if you guys remember 1,000 Ways to Die. That show was crazy. And they always died on some freak shit. Like, them dudes was always doing some freak shit before they died. I don't, like, oh my goodness. But anywho, one thing that is the strongest point of this movie, like, what makes this movie so strong is that the filmmakers trust that we already know the rules to the world. Final Destination is kind of getting repetitive because they all end the same. Yo, okay, this is something great that you just said, because that's exactly what I'm about to lean into. I didn't even know this franchise existed, but when I heard of Bloodlines, I watched the 5 movies in one sitting. It's crazy good, but I haven't seen Bloodlines yet. Yup, that's what the Final Destination movies will do to you. Like, you just kind of have to sit down and watch them. It's the perfect binge-worthy movie. It's a perfect date night flick. And that's not what I'm actually going to put on my final verdict. Remember, I said I'm going to give you guys a final verdict using the new watch and theater meter. But Curly, you say something that I think is actually genius, where you say you think it's kind of getting repetitive. That's what this movie does. It adds a thread and a narrative that the other movies kind of just kept doing over and over again. This one is following a death in, like, what am I trying to say? It uses our knowledge that we know how death works already, right? And so we now take on the perspective that the bystanders from the other movies would have had. So, for example, remember in the first movie when bro was like, yo, we gotta get off this plane, we're all gonna die, right? We kind of see the perspective of how the world will view someone that's like that. And that becomes the main character. So the main character learns from someone else how death works. And because of that, they have to find a way to now cheat death. In all of the Final Destination movies, I do not remember them creating a lore around death. Like, the person that ends up teaching the main character how to look for signs of death, like, low-key starts to view the world the way we look at the movie. And that's what I think is so genius. Another thing that makes this movie a masterclass in tension is how it subverts our expectations. So, Final Destination Bloodlines already knows that we expect characters to die. And so what they do is, it's almost like a magician. They'll dangle the keys in front of you over here, but the death is all the way back there. All the way back there, but they're gonna dangle keys in your face. The second movie, The Girl Survived. Oh yeah, I think I remember that. I think that was Shorty from Sky High, right? You guys know who I'm talking about. Sky High, 10 Cloverfield Lane, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. But I think that's what that movie does so well. Bloodlines. Like, so there's a death, there's a character, and the vending machine. And like the way they set up the vending machine, but there's so much other stuff happening. So there's like, I would say it presents like 5 different ways that any given character could just die. Just straight up. It presents 5 different ways. And then it's up to you to piece together how you think it's gonna happen. And it almost 9 times out of 10 doesn't happen the way you think it's gonna happen. And for that reason, I think like the fact that they're able to hold our attention and we know what's gonna happen and they're still able to subvert our expectations, that's what makes this movie, that's exactly what makes this movie so fun. Like, I don't know how they do it. It's insane. And so overall, he said that scene was brutal. Yo, that scene was absolutely brutal. And so overall, what I love about Final Destination Bloodline is that it's not the craziest movie in the world. It's not some cinematic masterpiece. But I will say, since John Wick, this is one of the since Boy Kills World, this is the most fun watching a movie. Like, how do I say? You could tell the filmmakers had fun watching this movie. And this feels like a movie that was made in the 2000s. Like, somehow they were able to do that. And so, because of that, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on the film, like score-wise, right? I'm not going to rate this film. I will say this. There was a shorty in this that was tripping me out. Here, let me pull this up. This is the scene that I was talking about right here. As you can see, the background looks fake as hell. They had like this sky view thing. This is her plotting out the murders and the order that her family's gonna die. Oh, this scene was brutal. Are these spoilers? This right here is the catalyst to why everyone is going through what they're going through. Curly says, for me, it's an 8 out of 10. All right, let's get into it, right? I was gonna say Assassin's Creed Bloodlines. Final Destination Bloodlines. Where does it stand? In our theater meter, if we had like a scale right here to the side of this screen right here, maybe if I end up editing this, I'll add something here. So over here, you're going to have watch in theaters as soon as possible. Over here, you're gonna get watch in theaters, but like it doesn't have to be Dolby or IMAX. So it's like the perfect date night movie. Over here, you're going to get watch on a Tuesday because the tickets are half off. And over here, just wait till streaming. And then all the way down here, let's add like a section down here somewhere. Like, you don't need to watch the movie at all. On this scale, I'm going to put this movie at wait till Tuesday. I personally saw this movie in Dolby. If you have A-list or like a, what's the one Regal has? Like, you know, those movie pass stuff. I think you should just watch this movie in general. Watch it in IMAX, watch it in Dolby. Funny story, when I was in Dolby, I was actually like, why is this movie so freaking loud? And back when I was a teenager and I used to work at the movies, I used to laugh at people like that. Like, there used to be people that would walk into the movies and they would purchase a ticket for IMAX. This is before Dolby existed. They would purchase a ticket for IMAX and then they would come outside and they would complain and they would be like, this movie is too loud, turn down the volume. And it's like, lady, you just purchased an IMAX ticket. That's literally the point. What do you mean turn the volume down? So here I am watching Final Destination Bloodline and I'm sitting here in Dolby and I'm like, why is this movie so freaking loud? So for that reason, I honestly do not feel like you need to watch this movie in IMAX. I feel like watch this movie in IMAX if you have a movie pass. That's the only way. But where I'm putting this on the rating, wait till Tuesday. Wait till Tuesday. I'm not saying this movie is the worst thing ever, but what I am saying is this movie is worth watching in theaters, but you're gonna wait till Tuesday so you can make it an event with your friends so that it's cheaper and you guys could have a good time. Then on top of that, I also think that this movie's not going to spend too much time in theaters. I think this is the type of movie that's going to make, it's not going to make any money on streaming, but like it's going to bring a lot of people over to HBO Max. And in going to watch The Last of Us, I saw the first Final Destination movie up there. They just put it back up there. So, yeah, I'm going to give this movie like 30 to 45 days before they ship it right over to streaming. Remember I said that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they put it on streaming in 3 weeks, to be honest with you. But give it a chance. Go watch the movie on a Tuesday when the tickets are half off. But they're saying it's doing good in the box office. It deserves it. Honestly, it deserves it. Like, the movie is a true return to form. Tony Todd, it gives a final, how do you say, goodbye to Tony Todd. I know he's a horror legend. Tony loves Tony Todd, which is actually funny. But yeah, man, Overall, I really enjoyed myself watching the movie. It reminded me exactly why I used to like the movie as a kid. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it for the stream today. I guess we could just hang out. The stream is pretty much done. Said what I had to say about the movie. If y'all want, what I could do, bro, I could open up Apex. Y'all want to see me sell so hard? I haven't played Apex in such a long time. Tony Todd's scene was sad. Yeah, and I also like how, like, you know, no spoilers, but I like how they just let it be. You know what I mean? I like how they just let my boy be. I thought that was great, personally. Y'all want to see me play Apex? You guys know what Apex is? I haven't played Apex in such a long time. The last time I tried to play Apex, I turned it off because I hit top 2. I'm not even that good at the game, but I hit top 2. And I panicked. I was like, all right, since I lost, you know, I'm going to end while I'm on top, and I'm just going to leave. This is it. So thanks for watching the stream. For those of y'all that, you feel me, that stuck around and thugged it out, that's my thoughts on Final Destination Bloodlines. We spoke about The Last of Us Part 2, and we also spoke about The Weeknd and how I think, my boy, I want him to continue acting, bro. I want him to continue acting. Thanks for joining me. Now, for those of you guys that want to stick around, let me pull up Apex. I'll probably play like one match of Apex. If the controller's dead, hopefully the controller's not dead, but I might have a USB-C. This should work. Let me pull up Apex. Is it gonna charge? Oh, it works. It works, it works, it works. All right, y'all. I'm about to boot up Apex. It seems. Seems I'm about to boot up Apex. Oh, wait, hold on. We're gonna have to figure this out. So let me... So now we just doing whatever on the stream. Now we just chilling. I low-key want to get on Twitch with y'all because, like, when I want to react to stuff, YouTube gives me such a hard time, bro. Like, YouTube be tripping, dog. When I tell you YouTube be tripping, YouTube be tripping. So, like, low-key, I kind of want to go over to Twitch. We record there, like do the live stream there. It's saying Apex is downloading content and it's only at 4%. So it doesn't look like we're going to be playing Apex tonight. Which is fine. You feel me? I don't have a problem chilling with y'all. Just hanging out for the time being. But sometimes it'll say it's going to take a long time to download content. It's going to take a little while, actually. Because I'm looking at a new season poster. I see a bow and arrow. Who is this character? Just be having new people. So you know what? Let me end this stream, and then I'm going to start a new stream just playing Apex. Whoever wants to join, join. We're just kind of chilling right now. I don't even think I'm going to be playing that many matches. So that stream could be like anywhere from 20 minutes to 30 minutes. We'll see what happens. It's not a stream that's going to stay up. I'll probably leave it private or save that stream for members. If you guys wanted to join the YouTube membership, I think I have it right now at like $2.99 or something like that. But I'm not going to keep the Apex video up because I'm not that great. So I'm going to end this stream. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to set up a separate stream in like maybe 10 minutes once this is done downloading of playing Apex. I'm going to go warm up another Jamaican patty. And I'll see you in the next stream. Peace.